it strikes me that right now everyone is really hungry to move on. And I think that really presents a big challenge for us because there's so much grief to process. And as we get distance, for a lot of people, I think grief emerges. So much has changed for so many people. But in all of us moving on, what I'm, I guess, wondering is how individuals can be more aware of who around them is struggling with long haul symptoms. Because it seems that one of the things that you've encountered from a lot of people is disbelief.
I think about this quite a bit because unfortunately I'm not cleared for the vaccines. I have a high clot risk factor, genetic factor, and
And
I
just
won't
so
be
I
able.
understand, you'd like to get the vaccine, but it's been medically recommended that you don't. And so you're in this very small percentage of a population, and some individuals I've spoken with and heard from who, have a medical condition where they're not an anti-vaxxer, they're not, but they're really getting like this could actually not work out for you. And so, can you tell us a little bit about what that's like? How to,
Sure.
how people either make assumptions or treat you or process that?
Well, initially I thought I was going to. Subsequently, this summer, I had done some more genetic testing and we found out that I have a genetic clotting factor that was even prior to COVID. Um, and so I was told definitely do not get the J&J. And then with the other two, the mRNAs, the other doctor was like, well, I'm not comfortable with those in regards to your other genetic profile. So that's why I've been waiting. And I will say there was a lot of, I have people still who are not long haulers who will still like, well, why don't you get the vaccine? We hear it cures COVID or long COVID. And that has been really frustrating because the verdict is still out. And in America, there's no collecting of data in regards to how many of us there are. And that right there tells me that we are not being seen.
Jody, how do you think, given there's such a diversity of symptoms, how do you think people can either better organized or better be aware of long haulers and what they're struggling with?
I would want to shine a light on the discrepancy between what you think is happening and what's really happening. And I would want to open up a conversation about the inequality there and how this group of chronically, and let me backtrack and say that chronic illness is stigmatized. Chronic illness community has been suffering for decades, and I myself had no idea about those communities. I had no idea about the chronic illness community of MECCFS. I had no idea that they've been suffering for decades without any real treatment. So I was incredibly humbled when those communities opened their doors to us and said, we will listen to you. We will support you. We will, we're here for you. So at this point, it's almost like I would hope that I would be an advocate for those chronic illness communities to say, like, we need to take steps as a country and as a society to recognize these people and to help them and to not push it aside in terms of acknowledgement.
Yeah, thank you for that, Jody. I mean, it reminds me so much of the mental health community, of how over the last decade there's been such an opening up and awareness of what's really always been there, and kind of more of an acknowledgement and more conversation that has led to lots more awareness and lots more action.